Systems Implementers Incorporated, Transcend Technological Systems, LLC. Publicly released, June 13, 2022. June 1, 2022. Protests challenging agency's technical evaluation of the awardee's proposal are denied because the evaluation was reasonable and consistent with the terms of the solicitation. Protests that the agency should have assigned protesters' proposals multiple strengths and higher technical ratings reflect the protesters' disagreement with the agency's evaluation judgment and provide no basis for sustaining the protests. Protests that the agency evaluated in a disparate manner are denied because the record reflects that differences in evaluations were a result of differences in proposals. Protest challenging agency's evaluation of offerors' professional employee compensation plans is denied because the record demonstrates that the agency's evaluation was reasonable and consistent with the solicitation and the requirements of Federal Acquisition Regulation Provision 52.222-46. Protests challenging the agency's best value trade-off source selection decision are denied. With respect to the first protester, the agency reasonably found that firm's proposal to be lower rated and higher priced than the awardee's proposal, thus, no trade-off between the two was required. With respect to the second protester, the agency reasonably found that firms and the awardee's proposals essentially equal under 4 of 5 evaluation factors, and reasonably relied on a discriminator under a 5th evaluation factor to justify payment of the awardee's less than 0.5% price premium. Systems Implementers Incorporated, the incumbent contractor, and Transcend Technological Systems, LLC protest the award of a contract to OM Group Incorporated under a request for proposals. The Air Force issued the RFP for sustainment, modernization, and consolidation services for the Hill Enterprise Data Center located at Hill Air Force Base, Utah. The protesters challenged the agency's evaluation of the awardee's technical proposal, the agency's evaluation of the protesters' own technical proposals, the agency's evaluation of offerors' proposed professional employee compensation plans, and the agency's best value trade-off. We deny the protests. SI and TTS challenge various aspects of the agency's technical and price evaluations, as well as the resulting source selection decision. Although we do not address each of the protesters' many arguments, we have considered all of the firm's contentions and find that none provides a basis to sustain the protests. Source selection officials have broad discretion to determine the manner and extent to which they will make use of evaluation results, and must use their own judgment in deciding what the underlying differences between proposals might mean to successful performance of the contract. A protester's disagreement with an agency's judgments about the relative merit of competing proposals, without more, does not establish that the judgments were unreasonable. Here, we find the SSA reasonably focused on OMG's additional strength under subfactor 3 as a key discriminator between the proposals of OMG and TTS. Although the solicitation provided that all technical subfactors were to be given equal weight, there is nothing objectionable in the SSA's reliance on a key discriminator under a single subfactor for purposes of a best value trade-off. It is well settled that a single evaluation factor may properly be relied upon as a key discriminator for purposes of a source selection decision, and an agency's trade-off analysis may focus on a particular discriminator where there is a reasonable basis to do so. TTS's arguments to the contrary reflect nothing more than its disagreement with the agency's trade-off decision. The protests are denied.